live on 5 News and streaming on 5 Plus. This is a weather impact alert.
Oh, hey, good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here at 5 News this morning. Weather moved through overnight. You may have heard it. Maybe it woke you up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Woke up to some thunder for sure.
Yeah. And I think we're pretty good for now, but it left behind some damage.
Yeah, left behind some damage, left some power outages, especially in Benton County, Washington County. Those were the 2 counties in our area that saw a lot of the damage as well as the power outages. For now, it's pretty quiet, relatively speaking. We're seeing just light to moderate showers in our area. You can see we're kind of sandwiched between a severe thunderstorm warning off to the east near Little Rock, and then some moderate to heavy rainfall there in south central Oklahoma. But for the most part, again, it's pretty quiet. Northwest Arkansas, for the most part, it's either light showers or pretty dry. You can see Benton County, most of Washington County is, well, fairly dry. Again, zooming in here, you can see now it's moved off the east of I-49, at least in northwest Arkansas. You can see, again, majority of northwest Arkansas is under dry conditions. And even in Huntsville and Venus, it's just pretty light rain. To the south in the River Valley, the southeastern portions are dry here. You can see portions of Johnson and Logan County, and then a little bit here in the greater Fort Smith area. But again, nothing too crazy out there. But we are going to be watching forward to the northwest. As you see my beautiful circle, we are going to see the potential of redevelopment. You notice that there's nothing really moving in. So that's something we're going to be keeping to watch. If this continues to move to the southeast and nothing redevelops behind it until later this afternoon, unfortunately, that could bode not on the great side for redevelopment of strong to severe storms. So it'd be about this afternoon, this evening, 1 to 10 p.m. Main risks would be damaging wind gusts, large hail, and maybe a brief tornado. Of course, we'll have those updates for you throughout the morning show as well as on the news at noon, but I have that 5 News Plus app handy as well. I'll give you a complete forecast here coming up in just a little bit. For now, the directors are telling me, get on with it, Danny, and I will. I-40 at I-540 there, you can see just very wet roads, so just be mindful of that as you head out the door. Otherwise, traffic moving smoothly here across the region. We'll have that complete forecast coming up in just about 10 to 15 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that this morning, Danny. All right, now we're going to go out to 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi. He's come across some damage this morning.
Yeah, and Jacob, you were just texting us a few minutes ago. You also had the chance to talk to a resident in that area. So can you tell us where you are in Highfill and what the residents there are saying?
Yeah, good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Joe. We're right here on 64th Street here in Highfill. Again, spoke to one resident here this morning. She said that this came in about 1:30 a.m. this morning. She also told me that this house that you see right behind me here, no one has ever lived in. She says that it's been vacant, which is good news given the damage that you can see here on this property. The roof has been completely ripped off. Will, if you don't mind showing just the roof right here, this completely coming off of this home here almost looks like it came off in one big piece. But again, this came in around 1:30 a.m. this morning. Speaking to a local police officer, he told me that there has been no reported injuries, and that's just the good news given the extent of this damage, this debris all over the floor here. As you can tell, residents already are picking up the pieces from their property right here. You see the Benton County Sheriff's Office officer right here. I spoke with Benton County earlier today. They said that the emergency manager is going to be making their way out here. They do not know how many structures have been damaged thus far, but this tin right here, this tin right here, I'm told that that's coming from a chicken coop about 3 or 4 blocks away from this area. So that tells you just how strong the winds have been that came in at this morning's storm. But again, still learning to figure out exactly what happened, looking to talk to more residents. But the resident right here at this property tells me that it was one of the scariest things that she's ever been through, because she said there was a white flash and then this huge, a lot of wind coming in at one moment, and then just damage from these properties coming into her home. And that's what we've been seeing from a lot of houses on these street, is the houses that where all the stuff was ripped off going right into their home. So a lot of damage right here in Highfill right now.
All right, Jacob, thank you so much for that. We appreciate that report. And let's talk about the power outages coming out of this. Benton County, almost about 3,000 people. That number more than tripled that this morning whenever it happens. So you can tell crews, they have been working around the clock.
Yeah, in Washington County, same there as well. It was about 3,000 this morning when we came in. It's at about 300 right now. And then in Madison County, we have about a little over 100 people that are without power. So again, these power workers are out there. They're working hard to try to get this fixed as the morning goes on.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the photos coming out of West Fork from this same storm system. The police department posting these, saying multiple trees down. They have to clear some debris out of the roads this morning.
Yeah, they say that the fire department and city crews are helping out to clear them. And so just be patient, be mindful this morning, maybe check some of those routes before you're heading out to work, because there might be some down power lines or trees in your area.
All right, another day, another elimination game for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, it's an exciting day as the Omahags took down the UCLA Bruins 7-3 last night to set up a rematch with LSU today. I think we've got it, Joe.
Yeah, now Arkansas will have to beat the Tigers twice now, right, to advance in this series. On Saturday, the Hogs will take the field, but that'll be tonight at 6 o'clock. You can watch on ESPN.
That will be another night I'm not sleeping.
Meanwhile, we're hearing from the parents of Razorback pitcher Gage Wood.
He threw a no-hitter against Murray State earlier this week, only the third in the Men's College World Series history.
It's crazy. I mean, it's hit me, but I don't think it's really hit me that, how big it really is.
I think the coolest part about all of this is after the no-hitter, he wanted to share that moment with the people he loved. He gave a baseball from the game to his dad and said, "Happy late Father's Day." I think that's a good gift for a dad,
I just made history, Dad, for sure.
And looking ahead to tonight's game, our 5 News Sports team will be live in Omaha getting you ready. You can catch that extra inning special starting at 5:15 this evening. Well, convicted killer Grant Harden is facing new charges related to his escape last month from the North Central Prison Unit. The escape led to a nearly 2-week-long manhunt. Harden's now in a maximum security prison in South Central Arkansas. He appeared virtually for a hearing on Tuesday in Izard County, where he entered a not guilty plea. The next pretrial hearing in the case will be October 21st, with a jury trial happening the following month starting on November 5th. Harden is already serving a life sentence for a deadly shooting that happened in Benton County. Well, continuing coverage this morning, Jamie Waterman has been sentenced to more than 6 years in prison for helping his wife cover up the murder of a pregnant mother from Benton County. Waterman pled guilty last year to the crime of acting as an accessory after the fact and then admitted to helping his wife Amber hide the body of Ashley Bush.
Now, Amber Waterman has already pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison for the federal kidnapping charge. She's now awaiting a separate capital murder trial out of Benton County, where prosecutors there say they'll seek the death penalty.
Ashley Bush was 31 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. Investigators say Amber Waterman kidnapped Bush in Arkansas and took her to Missouri in a plot to raise the baby as her own. Amber's next court date in Benton County is set for July 7th.
Well, residents in Arcoma will soon be paying much higher sewer bills, at least for now. On Tuesday, Fort Smith directors approved a 225% rate hike that will start next week to make Arcoma's rate equal to what Fort Smith residents pay. Arcoma leaders say it's possible and could take the city to court to keep it from happening.
We've already heard them say they're going to sue us no matter what. So in my mind, we should go full rate and then let the courts decide. You're not incentivizing them to go solve their problem. Either they should go make their own treatment plant or contact another city to take care of their sewer and get their water needs. That's how I'm at.
Arcoma Mayor Joshua Johnson says any court action taken by the city will be discussed at the next city council meeting this Thursday night. Well, a proposed wind farm in Northwest Arkansas is drawing some concern from residents who say they've been left out of the conversation. They worry about the long-term impact.
5 News reporter Lauren Spencer spoke with property owners.
I've seen windmills like these come and go, and I just feel the community needs to know what's going on.
In the rolling hills between Lincoln and Siloam Springs, Joe Parker loves his land, but now he says the view and more could be changing.
The biggest one that scares me is the impact that it makes on our infrastructure for our water.
He says he's also worried about property damage, light pollution, and long-term environmental consequences.
What scares me is the younger generations that are going to have to deal with the disposal of them, the taking them down, the cleaning up. You know, these won't last forever.
And he's not alone. In Carroll County, Richard Williams, a former county judge, is living next to a wind farm that's already under construction.
Not that I'm against wind farms, it's where do you put them? Do you put them on our mountain ridges? They're green, all right. They're after the greenback dollars, the tax credits from the federal government to pay for them.
Williams says the vibration from drilling and foundation work could put private water wells at risk, and he wants counties to hit pause until more is understood. He says Madison, Carroll, and Boone counties all have moratoriums. He says Washington County needs to do the same.
To give the quorum court members, the Justice of the Peace, JPs, time to look at, study, and see what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, the consequences. Trees take in carbon dioxide, give off oxygen. They're the air filters of the earth. This project here, 74% is going to be gone.
Back in Lincoln, Joe Parker plans to speak at Thursday's Washington County Quorum Court meeting and hopes local leaders will listen.
I want our supervisors to hear us. That's the guys that are out there doing the job that we elected them to do.
In Lincoln, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Well, the company behind the proposed project, RAS, says it's still in the early stages of exploring development in Washington County and is hosting a community meeting this evening at the Cincinnati Road Fire Station in Lincoln.
In a statement, RES emphasized its commitment to working with the local community, noting wind energy brings economic benefits, energy independence, and job creation. Washington County residents against the proposed project say that they are actively working to get a moratorium on the agenda.
County leaders say the planning board and quorum court will ultimately decide whether to grant the company a conditional use permit.
Well, again, we're tracking the potential of strong severe storms redeveloping this afternoon. Main risk could be large hail and damaging wind gusts, but a tornado chance is low, but it's not zero. We'll talk